What's up, gamers? Mass Gamer here today to bring you another one of our Modern Warfare 3 gun reviews. Today we are going to be talking about the AK47, one of the most underused and underrated weapons in the game. First, we're going to go ahead to a spray comparison. Here you're going to see the hip fire. This is with no attachments or proficiencies. Then we're going to go ahead and aim down the sight a couple times to give you an idea of what the spray looks like. This does have a smaller iron sight here, so this is a good weapon to use with just the iron sights, if you wish. So as you can see, this is a fairly accurate weapon. Hipfire does leave some room to be desired, but we're going to go ahead and throw on a red dot and the kick proficiency. See, it definitely does clean up the cone of fire there on the hipfire quite a bit. And then even though it looks like it's kicking quite a bit, you will see that this is a pretty darn accurate weapon when you're aiming down the sights. It does give that padded AK47 bounce there with the recoil, but it is a very accurate weapon. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the gameplay. I wanted to mix it up this time and throw in a 2 versus 2 on erosion here. Well, there we go. Sniper hiding in the little house back there. Just give a little bit of a mix up here in the gun reviews. You'll be able to get a good idea of the gameplay and everything, and the type of weapon that this is. I really hated this weapon when I first started using it. I really think it's because of the way that the red dot bounces with the recoil, but really it's just an optical illusion because this is a really accurate weapon. This is me and my buddy Alvin playing a little 2 versus 2, and see how amazingly lucky I got with that reload fire there. The guy just kind of ran by me. But back to the AK47 here. This is I'd call this a mid to lightweight assault rifle. Like I mentioned, the red dot seems to have a little bounce to it, which, depending on how you play and what your skill level is, might be a good thing and it might be a bad thing. For me, I kind of like it. It's kind of interesting because it's one of the only weapons that really does that. Kind of gives you a reaction, but doesn't mess up the accuracy or whatever, which is pretty cool. I prefer to use this with a red dot, even though the iron sights are good. For some reason, I just like the red dot on it. I do like that bounce that it gives on the red dot. If you look, it kind of jitters up and down, and for me, I don't know, it's fun for some reason. Can't really explain it. There's no technical reason behind it, but it's definitely fun. The proficiency I suggest on this is kick. It's definitely gonna decrease that cone of fire when you're firing from the hip, and it also gives you a little bit of an added boost in the accuracy when you're aiming down the sights. Now the game types for this that I would suggest, obviously I'm doing this in a 2 versus 2 small map. I would suggest this weapon for everything. It is a little bit lighter, so this would even work for a free-for-all if you'd like. This is a really good weapon. A lot of people don't use it. It's a little bit further down the unlock list, and so I think it's a little bit underused and underrated. A lot of people, when you first play with it, for some reason don't really care for the weapon all that much, but once you get 100, 200 kills with it, it really just seems to grow on you for some reason. I'll pull this one out if I need to change things up or whatever, but for a while it was one of my main staple weapons. I have thousands of kills with this gun. Now the ratings for this one, when I do rate these weapons, I rate it in 4 different categories. One being the power. That's going to be the power of the weapon, the damage that the weapon is dealing out. Second one is going to be the accuracy and reliability, and that's how accurate are your rounds going to be as they come out of the weapon overall, long range, short range, up close, everything. And then the next one is going to be movement. How agile are you, how nimble are you on your feet, how quick are you able to move around. And then the last and final is going to be the first strike, which is when you're coming toe to toe with somebody, who's going to win that battle. You're going to be able to get your rounds off quick enough, or you're going to be able to, contend with them as you're pulling up to aim down your sight. How's the hip fire, all that good stuff. So with the AK-47, I think this is one of the better assault rifles for sure. I rate it a 4 in the power category. For accuracy and reliability, I also rate it a 4. Movement, I give it a 3. It is you know, it is a little bit heavy. It is an assault rifle, so I do rate it a 3. And then for the first strike, I rate it a 4. Even though it seems when you're firing it, just because of the brute force that comes out of this weapon, it seems that it has a low rate of fire. But to be honest with you, it really fares well when you're in close quarter combat. So I do rate it a 4 with an overall score of 15. Now, as far as the player skill levels, it's a fairly easy weapon to use. However, a beginner might have a little bit of trouble with the bounce and the recoil on this weapon. Even though the bullets are flying straight, it does seem like there's a lot of recoil. So, you know, I would suggest this one for an average to a good player. Now, I rate that out in 3 different areas. You have a beginner, somebody that might be, you know, brand new to the game, a little bit newer to first-person shooters, or not really familiar with the Call of Duty games. Second would be what is the vast majority of Call of Duty players, which would be the average player. And then you're going to have your good players, you know, your people that are putting up big numbers on a pretty consistent basis. And here's my Reaper on a 2 vs 2, which is, you know, a little bit more difficult to get because you're in a lot more gun battles and you know, you have people sneaking up behind you. Now the player types for this weapon, I would say it's good for all player types. I categorize this in 3 different categories. It would be your defensive player, or the person that would be camping or defending a flag or a bomb site, really just kind of hunkering down and defending. Then you're going to have your mid player, which is kind of a middle player. They stick and move in the middle of the map kind of a thing. Not necessarily camping, but on the other hand not really rushing. And then you're going to have an aggressive player. Those are the players that are rushing, always in your face, always the first one of the flag, always the first one of the bomb. But for this weapon, I suggest it for anybody. It's got a good enough rating, good enough flexibility to where you can do pretty much anything with it. Class setup that I use with this weapon is going to be sleight of hand, definitely a must for assault rifles. With this one, since it is loud, I would suggest that you use assassin, and if not assassin, use hardline. And then for your third slot, I would use stalker. Definitely stalker is necessary with this weapon, as you know, it's going to give you that movement ability and that juking out and dodging bullets ability that you'll need when you're using an assault rifle. So going back to everything, if you haven't played this 2 vs 2 or 3 vs 3 face-off, I suggest you do it. It's a lot of fun. It will definitely test your skills. Usually the people that are playing this are a little bit better than most people that are going to be playing in your larger games, things like that, and a lot less places to hide, and takes a lot more skill and talent to be able to get it done. So if you want to put yourself to the test, this is a good place to do it. Maybe I'll catch you on there and see if we can test our skills to one another. And heck, if you want to play me, just send me a message and be more than happy to. So just to recap this one, this is definitely a highly accurate, highly powerful assault rifle, very versatile. You can do a lot of different things with it, and you know, it'll take a little bit of getting used to, but once you do play with this weapon, it will definitely pan out and you'll like it. And if not, send me a message. So anyways guys, hope you enjoy our videos here. I appreciate your continued support. I will continue this series until we have covered every weapon in the game. And until next time, the Masked Gamer is out.